Hey all, how are you today? Hey. The quick announcement is that the video coming on the 6th of December. We will be talking about Land of Pandora and Animal Kingdom in Orlando. So like I just said, we're talking about on the 6th, we're talking about a Pandora Land of Avatar. um Overview for Walt Disney World, which is really cool. That'll be coming on the 6th. And that this video coming on the 5th, we're talking about the horror movie The Wolfman, which was it was released in 1941. It was directed by Kurt Siodmak and produced and directed by George Wagner. There are some heavy names in this movie. It was released on December 12th. Its budget was $180,000. Cool. Wolfman is one of those more famous Universal monsters. And this is actually the second ever Universal Pictures werewolf film. The first one would have been Werewolves of London, released in 1935. And this film had a great deal of influence later on for Hollywood's depiction of the werewolf. Kurt Siodmak, he was a horror writer, novelist. He wrote a book called Donovan's Brain, and he would later be the director of it, which would be released in 1953. He was the younger brother of Robert Siodmak, who's also a director. I'm trying to think what kind of movies a lot of 40s and 50s movies. His last movie he worked on was a werewolf movie, which is The Wolfman, released in 2010, which I will probably be covering in the future. I don't know. And George Wagner, he died when he was 90. I don't know any of his other movies, but he did direct later some episodes of the original Batman series from 1960s, which is kind of cool. I don't really know what else I would have heard him from, sadly. Yeah. So those are director, and now let's get into some heavy hitters. There's at least two who I've definitely heard of. Probably more. The story is about this guy named Larry Talbot, who's a Wolfman. And yeah, I like to look at the Wolfman in this. So we got Lon Chaney Jr. His dad's really famous in horror. His dad is Lon Chaney. You might know his dad from The Man of Many Faces. He was in like Phantom of the Opera, Hunchback of Notre Dame. Just early silent films. Son's famous still. Trying to think what you probably know him. He was the wolf, Larry Talbot, Frankenstein's Monster and Ghost of Frankenstein. He was Lenny Smallman of Mice and Men from 1939. He was Count Alucard in Son of Dracula, which is really cool. The Mummy in 3 pictures, in various roles in many classic Universal Monsters films, which is cool. His dad's really famous, like I said. Let's get into some other actors who are definitely up there in fame. Claude Rains. He was Dr. Jack Griffin in was later Invisible Man, which is really cool, from 1933. He was in The Adventures of Robin Hood, Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, original Casablanca from the 1940s, 1942. Actually, that's the famous version, with Humphrey Bogart and Ingrid Bergman. King's Row, Notorious, Lawrence of Arabia. Just a lot of well-known films. Yeah. You got Warren William, King of Pre-Code, which is like an era in Hollywood. He was the first actor to play Perry Mason, which is really cool. You got Ralph Bellamy. He was in the play Sunset of Campobello, The Awful Truth. I don't think what else. Probably a lot of other stuff. I've not really heard of him personally. Pretty Woman from 1990. You got Patrick Knowles. Men of Tomorrow, Abdul the Damned, Arnold, Terror in a Wax Museum. Yeah. Evelyn Ankers. She was in a lot of films with Lon Chaney Jr. Land of Music, Rembrandt, Wings of a Morning, Fire Over England. Yeah, Maria Ospinenka was a Russian actress. I've not really heard of any of her works. But the other really famous, there's one really famous person. You got Bela Lugosi, which is really cool. Probably the most famous Dracula actor. Yeah, it's Dracula. But I really hope you guys enjoy. And like I said, the video coming after this, we're talking about Pandora Land of Avatar. Bye bye.